exceptional time in this program. An exceptional time in this program that you've heard about tonight, recognizing that mission that was set forth as we start this evening, to put a bunch of folks together who aren't necessarily in workforce development and solve some problems. We've been doing that in our work in MediaTech Ventures. The problem that we've identified and that we're most passionate about is a big one. It's that in the entire United States workforce, in just about 2 years, almost half of everyone is going to work for themselves in some capacity. These are freelance professionals, they're consultants, designers, journalists, musicians. They're folks who either need to work for themselves or choose to. In either respect, need a different approach. Nowhere is that more evident, and that's what we're excited about. Nowhere is that more evident than here in Austin. Here in Austin, where we have these very people, and indeed in groups like the Austin Digital Jobs and creative freelance groups, we've eclipsed 70,000 people looking for gigs, looking for work in this new economy. The challenge before all of us, is that evidence in Austin is not just that it's happening, but that we have to do something about it. That in our live music capital of the world, in that industry alone, almost half of everyone works below the poverty line. We refer to that future, that distinct class, as the creative class, and it's different from the service class and the working class of the past millennia. The creative class is a distinct set of professionals. Amongst them are folks who are innovating and creating the future. They're entrepreneurs who work in news media, VR, advertising technology, and they're inventing the way that we do new things. It also consists of the architects, the engineers, the technology professionals who build the infrastructure that enable our economies and our cities to work more efficiently. We call that industry, in our work, media technology, because it's at that convergence. It's at the convergence of industries like news, advertising, music, what's going on with something like radio and podcasting. Hopefully these are all industries in which you recognize jobs that are going away. These are professionals who can't find work because the way they work has drastically changed. What we're excited about in our work is that the majority of venture capital actually moves through this industry at large. The majority of venture capital in the entire economy moves through media technology companies in some form or fashion. The challenge, of course, is that venture capital takes a while to trickle down. And as the service class and the working class exploded in the last century, the creative class is exploding now. And we aren't teaching, we aren't developing the skill sets necessary for these professionals to work efficiently and effectively. We aren't supporting the entrepreneurs as best we can for them to build companies that thrive. This is what Austin's live music capital looks like as an example. For the most part, we're familiar with this scene. Musicians who are busking on the street, musicians who are trying to make a living at venues, rather than embracing technology that enables them to produce themselves, to go on tour for themselves, to reach audiences, make money by themselves. And not only is almost half of the entire music industry working under the poverty line, but these musicians who we celebrate, for the most part, are all living below the poverty line. In the last 5 years alone, Austin has lost hundreds of millions of dollars in that industry alone. We've lost thousands of jobs because we're not leveraging technology as effectively and efficiently as we can within our media ecosystems. What we're focused on is the idea, though, the recognition, though, that Austin knows these industries better than anywhere else. And we're seeing evidence of it. We're seeing Condé Nast, BioWare, Comcast, and Facebook, companies investing here, putting jobs on the ground, putting capital to work. We all know companies like Rooster Teeth, WP Engine, The Chive, and South by Southwest who have been doing it efficiently and effectively for decades. We simply need to celebrate them more. And we can, when we look at Austin from an economic development standpoint, from a workforce development standpoint, recognize that it's not that hard to invest in where these people are found, where these companies are available, where the mentors and teachers and programs could be available to help them work more efficiently and effectively. To do that, we're learning from the faces of the future of Austin. Faces like these, folks that are doing it, folks like Joe Spearman, who's built a technology company in the event space because of his expertise in social media. Folks like Jennifer Gooding, who works in news and media and PR, who's built some infrastructure to help her thrive as a content management system and CRM for the news media industry. Folks like John Robinson, whose technology investments in video and software have enabled him to develop one of the largest film studios in the entire state. These are the people that we want to learn from and help thrive in this part of the world.
tonight, if anybody was wondering, is musician. We do have a tip jar back there now, if anybody's interested. But folks, my name is John Cesaro. I was a professional musician for over a decade. Everybody here knows Paul O'Brien, or at least SC O'Brien. Built his career at Yahoo in Silicon Valley, and you can't escape his tweets. So we believe Collective in teaching media and technology to help Austin lead the creative class economy and to develop more of the individuals that you see on this slide here. And so if you look at the landscape, right, we have a lot of these technical companies teaching technical skill sets, but none that are actually working with media conglomerates to develop curriculum in conjunction with where they're headed as an organization. It's skill sets for the sake of skill sets. On the other side of that, we do have incubators that play in this space. And I'm sure a lot of you are familiar with these incubators and their names. The irony is they come to South by every single year and steal business from Austin. So how, kind of shame on us for not having an incubator for media technology to kind of lead the way and show example. That's where Collective comes in. Collective combines the two, education and incubation, ideas to business, ideas to entrepreneurs, teaching, bootcamp curriculum, skill gap and workforce development, and also MediaTech founders to industry mentors and access to investors. Our business model is simple. Students pay a tuition. Founders have application fees and give up part of their equity upon graduating. We're looking for industry partners as well, industry mentors and experts to work with in skill gap development. And from my understanding, everybody here tonight, raise your hand if you're here to support workforce development. Right? Excellent. So I look forward to speaking with you afterwards at our booth over there on how to put your dollars to work to save the creative class economy, which Austin has become. Our traction was validation last year, moving into this year, teaming up with our real estate partner, Workwell Win, which we have Real Estate Now to launch classes. Teaming up with the Austin Community Foundation to launch Collective. Acquiring Musicians Desk Reference, which is an online EDU and project management tool for musicians, which we're speaking with ACC and St. Edwards is developing new curriculum towards. And then we got Accepted and Impact Hub's Workforce Development Accelerator. And from that, we partnered with Austin Coding Academy. Thank you, Chris Lofton and his team, for being so gracious on helping us leverage their technology for our AD side. And Stage Exchange, which is our incubator backend. Our roadmap is launching next month, and then from there expanding. We got property northeast of here that we're expanding, we're developing with our partners right now at the old Motorola campus. And then from there, beta testing some corporate programs. And then in 2019, we're going to move into other markets, the LAs, the Chicagos, and the New Yorks. Our ask is that you invest not in the live music capital of the world, but Austin is the live creative capital of the world. We're looking for supporters, donors, grants. We need technology, computers, and software for the students to leverage, and partners, whether that's space, whether that's industry expertise, or equipment. We're happy to talk to you afterwards. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm John Cesaro. This is Paul O'Brien. Thank you so much for your time. I look forward to speaking to you.
Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you very much. All right.